Evening.
Coach, you came into the game 3 defensive linemen down, then you lost to a few defensive backs during the game. What do you think about the way the rest of your guys responded tonight?
I thought they did a heck of a job. Izzy at corner, playing the corner, and the rest of the guys coming up with Brewer coming up and Mike Green coming up and Steele coming up. Those guys did a heck of a job inside, along with Will and Gaines playing out of position as well.
Do you have any updates on those injuries that happened?
Not just yet. We're going to wait and see what happens.
Todd, can you speak about Baker Mayfield's opening day here in Tampa?
I thought Baker did a heck of a job. He was good with his throws. He was good with his reads, with his checks. Everything was on point. He was excited. He ran when he had to, made some plays with his feet. He played a good overall game.
What were your thoughts on Bucky and the run game in general?
So we got going. We had some good 3 or 4 5-yard ones early. We needed to run it late, and we ran it late, which was great. The 1-2 punch with Rashad and Bucky is kind of how we planned it to be. And, you know, one gets tired, the other one goes in and picks each other up, so that was positive.
Looked like Chris again in the tough third down catches, the touchdown catch, playing inside in the slot.
He looked great. I mean, he looked great. He did some good things in the run game as well as the pass game. He got loose on some plays. He made some big catches, and Chris looked like Chris.
What can you say about the job that Liam Coen did in his debut with the Bucs?
Well, Liam did a great job coming out. I mean, you put up 37 points. There's some things we can be better at, that we got to get better at on the first game. Happy to win, happy to score 37 points, and, you know, we'll move on from there.
So effective against McLaurin today, Todd.
Paid attention to him, number one. He's a hell of a receiver. The last person, you know, Jaden can beat you with his legs, but that takes time. McLaurin could beat you in about 2 seconds, and that doesn't take any time. So we had to make sure that we paid good attention to him.
Of Jaden with his legs, it seemed like he was able to get more yardage scrambling in the first half versus the second. I know that some of that has to do with the lead that you had in the second half, but what were you guys able to do in the second half that kind of slowed him down a little bit?
We changed up some things, and maybe 5-man pressure to take up some of the gaps. You know, with Canty and Logan down, we weren't as fast in there or as quick in there, so to speak, so some of the balls got out, and we understood that. Again, better him running than McLaurin catching the football, and we tried to clean that up in the second half some.
Todd, how often has Izzy prepared as a cornerback? Has he done any cross training there, and what do you think of him knocking over there, and how did he do?
He has not lined up at corner one day in training camp, but he plays nickel, so nickel and corner have the same jobs on certain things. Just hearing it from a different angle, and the safeties helped out a lot. The coaches, the DB coaches, did a good job getting them ready, and he did a good job.
Todd, you had 5 rookie draft picks play significant minutes. You remember when you've had, in their first game, you remember when you've had a contribution like that for rookies?
I honestly don't. I'm getting old.
The idea if Izzy had played
You talk
outside
about
corner.
play.
I thought they did a good job. I mean, you saw it from Barton to Bucky to McMillan to Tyke to Braswell. You saw all those guys make significant plays and help us, and, you know, it wasn't too big for them.
Any idea if Christian had played outside corner in college at all?
Not the plays I saw him at. He was at safety and at nickel. He hadn't played outside, but he is smart enough and he's feisty enough and tough enough. If you put him out there, he's going to make some plays.
Can you speak about the game that Servacity Dennis had for you with the sack and also a couple of big tackles?
Fox got a sack and some big tackles. First time getting his feet wet, and it's really like his rookie game too. So we got to see the film and get everything else out the way. But he's confident. He's a very athletic guy, and he can do a lot of things for us.
How would you describe, Todd, Mayfield's ability to buy time in the pocket, the sense he has of the on-rushing rushers? He avoided 3 or 4 sacks today by doing that.
I mean, that's a quarterback thing. You have to have a feel for that. I can't sit up here and take credit for that, and I don't think the coaches can either. That's something that's ingrained in you that you learn to do over time, and Baker has that knack for it, and he makes the right decision mostly all the time, and he did a heck of a job today.
Are you guys going to have to bring in some outside help at cornerback? I mean, I know that you only have 4 guys active today at your outside position.
Well, we'll see what the tests look like, and then we'll come back and evaluate that during the week.
Do you think that if Funderburk, I know that he had a foot injury before this, you think he'd be ready to step in if needed?
He's definitely going to have to be on deck.
What is having McMillan? I know you missed him a couple times. One was, you know, maybe a catchable ball, but then, you know, come back with a touchdown. What's it having that third receiver? I mean, you know, Mike and Chris are going to get so much attention.
I mean, between him and Trey, you know, we have a viable third receiver that's a viable threat that can run screens, that can run deep, that can do the short things as well. So that opens up things for Mike and Chris as well.
to put up 37 in week one, how much, and obviously a new offense, but how much does that speak to just the consistency within the players in that offense, the guys that have returned, that have comfort with each other?
Well, even though we had 37, we had kicked some field goals. We can score some points. We want to be better than that. It was great for the first game just to get out and get our feet wet, but we have some things to work on there, and we got to be better.
At the same time, Chase missed a couple of kicks in the preseason. To see him come out, it was perfect today. What does that say about him?
He did a good job. You know, Chase has been solid for us, and the preseason he missed some things with the snap, some things with the hold, but he came back out today and he made some big kicks.
What'd you see from Bucky Irving, Coach?
Buck's a ball player. You know, his height and his size does not tell you does not magnify how good he is as a running back. He can run up the middle. He can catch the ball. He's tough. He finishes runs. He's very good making the first guy miss in the hole, and he had a heck of a ball game.
Which of Mike's touchdown catches impressed you more?
Probably the first one. Because St. Juice was all over him. He has a guy his size and his height, and they were the hand fighting, and to still come down with that was impressive.
The number of touches for Bucky, did you anticipate that that's what he would get going into this game, or was some of that a function of riding the hot hand?
It's riding the hot hand and playing who's in there, and Rashad had his plays, Bucky had his plays.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Baker should be in momentarily.